Okay. Yeah, I don't know how well these magical Maddie runs will go today, because it's probably been about a year, roughly, since I've run Glitchless, and I haven't actually like done any runs, like with these splits yet. Let's just get into it. Hey Neko Harpoon, how's it going? Actually, something I didn't check is if there's like a delay between audio and video. That's good to hear. I'm doing well as well. Right, I hope the video isn't the... there's either going to be like a slight audio delay or a slight visual delay. I don't think there is. It looks fine on OBS to me. It's just because I've had to like create a new like setup for this, because I changed some stuff. Okay. But yeah, so as I said, I haven't done glitches in a while. So, because yeah, so the last time I ran Glitchless was when it was still just like regular any percent, which was about a year ago, and then I think inventory storage was found around, I think it was like October, it may have been early November, and then I didn't get around to actually like routing and running it until February this year rather, and like didn't start doing like proper runs of it until May time. So yeah, so I haven't ran Glitchless in about a year. I don't think much has changed. Like, I've made a couple of changes to the route, but I think for the most part they're just kind of like, there's like one bit I definitely know, like if it's like a if things turn out well strat, you can do it, and it saves like a day of watering. So, because in my current Glitchless PB, in order to get the gardening note, I grow moondrop flowers, which take I think it's 4, it might be 5 days of watering. But green herbs, which I grow in Glitched, take 1 day less. And I basically kind of like switched that over, but in order to get, in Glitchless you get the full bloom flowers, which you get for shipping one of every flower and herb. So you need to ship a moondrop flower, as well as get one for the flower festival, which you don't. So you don't get full bloom flowers in Glitched. So you don't need to get 2 full bloom moondrop flowers, but you do in Glitchless. So it's kind of like, if on the first day I can find 2 moondrop flowers, that's good, because that means I can grow green herbs. Whereas if I can't find it, then Why am I dropping loads of frames? That's bizarre. I just noticed because on my dashboard, the stream keeps buffering. I just checked and I've dropped quite a few frames already. But yeah, I've been like slightly hesitant to get back into Glitchless because so if you've like seen any of my glitched runs, one of the things I'll often say is like there are basically like two major points of luck in the run, which is the rock climbing minigame and the first trip to, and the second trip to the mine. Like the first trip to the mine is only kind of luck based, or it's not like a major bit of luck. It's like minor. But in Glitchless, you still have the rock climbing minigame. You only do one trip to the mine, but like it's basically the same as like the two trips you do in Glitched, but just done at the same time, preferably at least. But then there's also things like the flower festival, not the flower festival, the beach festival on Summer 3, and finding all of the herbs, and there's probably more, but I can't remember them at the moment. But yeah, so it's just like a little bit more luck based. 605, that's not particularly good. I'm pretty sure my best, well yeah, my best is like, my best for that split is 558, so it's 558 on my glitchless splits. I don't know if I have a better one on my glitched splits. I want to say part of that is due to like furniture, but I don't actually think it is, because I'm sure in my glitch splits I've got like some pretty good, I've got like similar times on my first snow split whilst doing this same furniture layout. I think maybe I just haven't been haven't been mashing fast enough, maybe. But yeah, so another note that's actually still in the glitchless route but isn't in glitched is the note you get for, I believe it's 3 hearts. But it's getting your dog to 3 hearts. Which the easiest way to do that is just by like picking it up and putting it straight down. And if you do that for 60 days, then you get the note. And like that doesn't seem like it would be like a really long note, because it's definitely not a difficult note, but it's the fact like just like the picking up and putting down animation is like so long that the fact that you have to do it 60 times adds up to quite, I'm sure I like timed it to be something like 6 minutes, but that's not like, I don't know, thinking about it, that sounds like a little too long to be correct, but I don't know, maybe it is. Hey Endless Nightmare, how's it going? Thanks for good luck. looks like my stream is buffering really bad. Yeah, I keep dropping frames. It's irritating because I don't know why that's happening. So when I get a chance, I'm gonna try and lower the bitrate on my stream. This is irritating because it's already, I think, like relatively low, or like comparatively low to what other people have it as. Oh yeah, one of the major points of luck, which isn't as obvious in Glitched, is the Big Eater note. So when I was doing glitch runs, I would kind of like, it would be 50-50 as to whether or not I would do Big Eater, but I would usually go for it because it would usually be worth it. Big Eater is like a regular note in this. It's not a backup. It's a like part of the route. But obviously, because I can't do inventory storage because that's a glitch, I have to eat 50 items entirely, like, regularly. So it's basically a lot of finding forageables and eating them. And yeah, and finding forageables is luck based. So I think I'm actually getting pretty decent luck at the moment because I've already found 3 berries. Okay. So what I was explaining earlier with the full bloom flowers note and the fact that I need to get 2 moondrop flowers. So I've picked up that green herb, but ideally what'll happen is I'll find another moondrop flower on the way to the rock climbing minigame. And what I'll do is I'll eat the green herb that I currently have and then save the other moondrop flower. And basically what that allows me to do is grow green herbs instead of moondrop flowers, and that saves me about, not necessarily a day of watering because I still have to water breadfruit, but it'll save me like a day of watering 5 squares, so it will save me a bit of time. Okay, so hopefully, after I've got the woodcutter note, I'll have a chance to lower my bitrate, and hopefully I should stop dropping frames. Definitely didn't want to pick that up. Okay, so from what it looks like, I've only managed to pick up 1 moondrop flower, which isn't necessarily bad, but well, actually it's unlucky because Actually, I don't even have a good time to. I don't have that much time to pick up. To like until I get the sun note. Yeah. Okay, so usually I have like a little bit of leftover time. Right. Okay, I've lowered my bitrate a bit, so hopefully the stream shouldn't buffer or like drop frames as much. So yes, this is the rock climbing mini game. I want pretty much as like little wind as possible, but if I do get wind, I want it to be updrafts instead of side wind. So I don't really want this, and the reason why I don't want wind is because wind lags out the game. But at least if it's like an updraft, it pushes you upwards, so you climb faster, so it's still somewhat beneficial. No, yeah. Okay. Not a terrible rock climbing minigame, but not that good of one either. So the fact that I can't grow, oh well, I mean I can grow green herbs now, but it'll be it's like a little bit complicated because I'd have to grow a moondrop flower and I'd have to grow green herbs. So it's just easier to just grow the it's easier to just grow the moondrop flowers and keep it simple. But as like an added like bonus to growing green herbs is the fact that you can eat them. So you only actually have to sell one of them, and you can eat the others. So that like contributes to the big eater note. So obviously that helps quite a bit, whereas you can't eat the moondrop flowers, unfortunately. Actually, no. I think I'll make it complicated, and I'll try and grow the both moondrop flowers and like this a single moondrop flower and the green herb. I forgot to pick up my dog, but I'll just do that in a second, like when I go back into the house. Okay, so here I'm looking for any fish besides the dace. Okay, good. Oh, whoops. I did that a little bit too high up, but that's fine. I don't actually want that one either. I'm just messing up the soil. Yeah, because that bottom patch isn't supposed to be there, but luckily I can just do that to get rid of it. I'll go into my house first because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook the fish that I just caught so I don't run out of stamina. Because I'm going to water all the squares before I go to the seed shop. I have no idea how I missed that square just, but somehow I did. It's almost amazing. But yeah, I don't actually know how well I'll do compared to these splits. Like, I don't know where I'll save time or lose time because of how much the route has changed. Just because I don't think I've changed that much, but I think there's probably like a few things that I just do a little bit differently. So yeah, so one slight route change is to try and make like the first day a little bit easier. So originally I would I'd ship the purple herb and a green herb on the first day in order to have enough money to buy the tree here on this day. But I've changed that, so I just go to the seed shop at a later date. And like it's a small time loss, but I think it makes like the first day easier. Like if I tried to have done it in this run, it wouldn't have worked out as well, because I was already like cutting it pretty close with the timing. So yeah, so unlike the glitched run, I actually have to grow quite a few breadfruit. So, because in glitched I only grow one, because I can just duplicate them using inventory storage. But obviously can't do that in this run, so I end up growing more, and I actually have to do quite a few harvests of them. So it's one of the rare cases of actually doing some farming in a Harvest Moon game, or in a Harvest Moon speedrun at least. And obviously the more rain I get like during this section whilst I'm growing crops, the better that is. I think it's still pretty similar to Glitched, though, in like Spring 3 is probably the best day to get rain, and then it's Spring 4. Actually, well, Spring 4 is pretty much the same as like Spring 5 at this point. But in this run I end up growing the breadfruit until Spring 17. I think Spring 17 is like the last harvest. So, yeah. So Spring 17 is like the last harvest of the breadfruit, so that's when rain stops becoming useful again. Or stops being useful. Except for when I want to go do the, get the rain note. Okay, so I think all my green herbs should be done today. But the moondrop flower won't be. And you get the gardening note for having 5 herbs or flowers grown at the same time. So I have to wait for my moondrop flower to fully grown before I can get that note. Yes, this should be that note. Yep. Didn't want to do that, but that's fine. Okay, so I need to keep this flower for the flower festival. And then I've already shipped my green herb, so what I can do is I can just eat these ones. Alternatively, I could sell them, because they do, like, green herbs do sell for 1,000, not 1,000, it'd be great if they did, but 100G each. But I think it's just like a little bit more beneficial because especially of how tight big eater can be sometimes if I just eat them instead of selling them. I guess the way to think of it is like, I just realised I haven't actually been, I don't think I've been picking up my dog. Maybe I have, I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to be losing time here for various reasons. Part of it will probably be because, oops, don't want that. Part of it will probably be because, I think in my old route, why does it keep aiming at that? I'd grow 5 breadfruit, whereas this time I'm growing 6. So that adds like a little bit more, but I think it just makes it a little bit easier. And also before I would also only grow 2 squares of grass, whereas now I'm growing 3. But yeah, hopefully it'll be like, you know, lose time here, but then save time in the next split. Hopefully. Okay, so my breadfruit should all be done today. The one thing I'm kind of hoping doesn't happen is like uneven breadfruit, so where just like one breadfruit has decided to grow like become harvestable like a day late. Either through like I've like forgotten to water it one day or missed it, or sometimes the game's just a bit stupid. But yeah, so it hasn't happened at the moment, so this shouldn't really happen. But yeah, so I grow breadfruit for 2 reasons. One is because they're just like a really good crop in this game. So, okay, it takes... Oh shit, I've actually forgot to befriend Ellen that day. Whoops. So, it takes 7 days to get like the first harvest from them. But then after that, it only takes 2 days to re-harvest them. So I'm putting that breadfruit aside for the harvest festival, which is all the way in fall. So not for a while, but I still need to keep that for then. But yeah, so they're just like really good crops because they grow like after the first harvest. As I said, they regrow in 2 days. So I'll water them today, and then they'll be harvestable again tomorrow. They're also worth 300G each if you grow them in this plot of land, so where the soil is fertile. So that's good. And then obviously as like a bonus, they're also like good for befriending Ellen. Hi. And you do actually need to befriend someone in order to go to certain festivals, so like quite a while ago now, probably a couple of years ago, there was like I had an idea for a route where you didn't befriend anybody, including Ellen. So there used to be part of a route where you'd also befriend Joe because he likes turnips, and turnips are pretty easy to get hold of. But that's just kind of like a backup now, and it's a pretty slow backup as well, but it's a backup nonetheless. But yeah, but then basically I found out by not befriending Ellen, I actually wasn't able to go to some of the festivals or like participate in some of the festivals. So like ones like the boat sailing festival, like pretty much any of the romantic festivals, I wasn't able to go to. So that obviously cost me, well, it would cost you like a few notes, not just the one that you'd have to replace of befriending that person. Right, this is gonna be very like irritatingly confusing now because I've got one extra breadfruit because I was supposed to give her a breadfruit on the 9th, but I just completely forgot to. So actually, I think what I'll do is I'll just put like that extra breadfruit in the fridge with the one I'm keeping for the Harvest Festival, but then I'll just have to remember to take it out at some point, like near the end. Actually, okay, so this is actually a good chance to catch up on it. So today is usually it is Ellen's day off, and is like because the Blue Sky Ranch is closed today. So because of that, that kind of means like the people who work there, so Ellen, Bob, and Blue are all like in random places, and one of the random places that Ellen can be is down here. So usually Thursday would basically mean like you'd skip that day, you wouldn't be able to give Ellen a gift. But this has kind of allowed me to catch up, I think. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I'm still holding on to the sickle, which I don't need at this point as well. Oh, seriously. Okay, I'm actually going to remember to drop off the sickle today. So yeah, so as I said, the 17th is the day of like the last harvest. So I don't actually have to water it on the 17th. But interesting enough, like if it rains like enough times, and like as I said, it only takes 2 days of rain, or it only takes 2 days before like you can harvest them again. What I might do is like, if like it rains twice and it just naturally grows another harvest, I'll probably end up selling selling that whole patch, just because money is kind of tight in this run, and having extra money allows you to like have a little bit more leeway on the big eater note, because what you do is you just buy a bunch of eggs at the end of the run and eat them until you get to the note. And obviously having more money allows you to buy more eggs, because it is possible, like if you just don't have enough money and you haven't gotten lucky enough in terms of like foraging food, you can buy as many eggs as you possibly can, and then still have to like look for food right at the end of the run, which is kind of what you don't want. Okay, but so as it stands at the moment though, I only got 1 day of rain whilst growing crops, which isn't great. Like I did a practice run the other day and I got rain on spring 3, so when I first when I would have planted all of the seeds, and I think I got it twice after that. So I think both of those parts was when I was just growing breadfruit. So I definitely could have had better luck, but I won't complain with 1, because that's still better than none. Right, so I still actually have 1. No, I have 3 more breadfruit to give her, because I have tomorrow's final harvest, and then the 1 extra. But tomorrow is actually a festival, so I'm not going to bother going out at all. Because as I said, I don't need to water them, so there's no point, because this is the last harvest, I can just leave them for a day, and they'll still be there tomorrow, so there's no repercussions of just picking them up today instead. I don't actually still need my watering can though, but that's not really made a difference. Well, I don't think it's going to make a difference to how I'm holding all of the items, really. Okay, so I don't need to go out tomorrow either, because it's a Thursday. So even though there's as you saw earlier, there's a chance that she'll be on the other side of the river underneath the farm, it's kind of not worth risking it, because there's probably a greater chance that she won't be there. But of course it rains today. Okay, so what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to go to Ellen, give her the final breadfruit. I'm going to put the moondrop flower in the festival shipping bin so that I can actually participate in the flower festival. And then what I'm going to do is, whilst waiting for the junk shop to open, I'm going to catch some fish. Then once the junk shop is open, I'm going to buy a rucksack. I'm going to buy the rucksack upgrade so I can hold 10 items. And then catch a couple more. Well, then I'm going to go to the library. Then I'm going to catch a couple more fish. And then I'm going to make what should hopefully be the final trip to the seed shop and buy the tree that I need. So all these fish are for befriending the dolphin, so it doesn't matter what type of fish these are at all. So when catching one that you want to cook right at the beginning, it matters that it is one that you can actually cook with just a knife set. But yeah, these ones you just feed to the dolphin, so they don't matter at all what these ones are. Fish did something a little bit different there, so I wasn't sure what it was doing. Yes, this is the first of 7. So yeah, so you have to catch 8 fish overall, 1 to get the cooking note, and then 7 to befriend the dolphin in order for it to take you to the island. Okay, I'm probably going to lose time with this split as well, because I think in my PB I would have gone to the mines during the summer split, but I'm going to go to the mines in this split just because it's like the same as what I do in Glitched, so it's just kind of easier to it's just kind of easier to remember to like do it at the same time instead of being like, oh, I'll do it in doing it in one split in one run and then a completely different split in another. So usually what I'd do is I'd go to the library at the end of a weather day. So usually I'd go to the library for the first time at the end of either a cloudy or rainy day in summer. But I'm doing it now just because it gives me a bit more. It'll give me a bit more time to like. So instead of having to at the end of that day run all the way to the library, I could just like stay wherever I am, and that allows me. That gives me a little bit more time to do things such as like finding more food in like the mountains, or like getting notes done or whatever. Okay, so now I gotta go and catch the last 2 fish that I need for the dolphin. Hey koala penguin, how's it going? Irritating enough, there isn't like another good time to catch these, so I was able to catch some of the fish whilst waiting for the like the seed shop to open and the junk shop to open. But another time like this doesn't really come, and unfortunately it kind of like it messes with the timing on the weather days. So what the weather days are, if you don't know this game, is there are 4 notes for staying out in all the different types of weather for 10 hours, 10 in-game hours. So there's 1 for staying out in the sun for 10 hours, 1 for rain, 1 for cloudy, and 1 for snow. And for whatever reason, like fishing during that time messes with it. So if you were to just go outside, and if you were to go outside at the beginning of the day, not go inside at all, and stay out for those 10 in-game hours, you'd get the note at 10 past 4. But if you were to do any fishing, you wouldn't get the note at that time, and like I don't know whether it just slows it down or whether it resets it or what exactly it does to it, but it messes with it for some reason, like somehow. But luckily catching those 2 fish there just like doesn't really take up much time. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm preparing to go, so after the flower festival, I'm going to go straight to the mine. So the mine is another major part of luck. Also, I actually should have kept some of my green herbs from earlier to for this mine. So yeah, so in Glitched you do the mine in 2 parts because you need to get silver in order to befriend Bob, but because you don't befriend Bob in this run, you can basically just do the mine in 1 big go. I'm also going to get this note whilst I'm at it. So yeah, so the mine is done for like a few reasons. So one is because there's a note for smashing 20 rocks, and the rocks in the mine count, just as the rocks like out here would count, but the rocks in the mine you only have to hit once for them to smash, whereas the rocks in the overworld for some reason you have to smash either like 3 or 4 times for some reason. There are 2 notes for shipping things, so there's a note for shipping a moonstone and a note for shipping all of the ores, which also includes limestone. And then you also have to get a second moonstone in order to participate in the firefly Flower or something like that festival. I can't remember what it's called. It's either the Fire Flower Festival or it's the Firefly Festival. So actually, if I wasn't actually about to go to the mine, I probably would save time here. Because the rest of spring would literally just be picking up my dog and then going straight to sleep. But the mine can take like a couple minutes, so as I said earlier, I'll end up losing time here, but I'll save time in later splits, or I should hopefully save time in later splits. So one of the weird carryovers from Glitched is I already actually kind of know what the layout for this section is going to be. So it wasn't the layout I wanted it to be. I'm actually going to reset this floor. Not getting a moonstone on that first floor is pretty sucky in both glitchless and glitched. Hey Melon Slice, how's it going? Damn, it just really wants me to get copper and silver. Oh my god, more copper, more silver. I don't think there are any other crystals, so... That's good to hear, yeah, I'm doing well. Okay, I'm gonna reset the floor again. So the problem with this is moon ores are pretty much only found in crystals. I don't know whether that's a definite or whether like that's not what I wanted, or whether it's just like they're just more likely. But yeah. But then so the fact that you need to find 2 of them is nope. Okay, good. Hey, Desert Penguin. Thanks for good luck. How are you doing today? Right. I can still get gold and limestone on this floor. I don't think I think I can get rare ore, like it is possible. It's just very unlikely. Hey, Decker. Thanks for good luck. Oh man, I didn't actually see that I got an updraft and got pushed back to floor 1. Also, I was supposed to give that fish to the dolphin. I completely, like, on the way to the flower festival, I completely forgot to do that. Okay, I'm just gonna try and go down the mine again, because I don't think I'm gonna find any gold or limestone here. Oh, great. Updrafts are not what I want here, because one, it just wastes time in general, but it can also put me on an uneven floor, which makes it harder to get to floor 10, which is where I want to be. So this is looking like it's going to be a 2 trips to the mine, which is never good. So unless I get unless there's like some healing gas here. Okay, so I did actually intend to pass out there, though obviously I would have preferred to have found all of the ores first. So I've still got the rare ore and the limestone to find. But yes, the reason why I purposefully passed out is in order to get this note, which is the passing out note. And the one thing I have to be very careful about is to not leave my house before before I get the note. So so for some notes where it gives you it at the beginning of the day, you can leave your house before the game has like fully faded in, and it only gives you the note once the game has fully faded in. And basically, if that happens, it usually means you have to do the whole note again. So for some things where it's like lone wolf, like that's like really easy to get again, because it's just, you know, it's just don't talk to anyone for another day. That's easy. You do that so many times in this run. But for things like limitation and night owl, that's like really it's really bad if you do that. I have to be, I was about to say, I have to be careful not to sell that blowfish, because otherwise I'd have to go out and catch another one. Is that a very berry on my bean? No, it is, okay. I'll keep that, just in case. Just in case I get, like, even more unlucky in the mine, that I lose a lot of stamina just trying to find a limestone and a rare ore. Right, I'll try for the limestone on this floor again. I don't know like where the best what the best floor to find limestone is. I mean, I usually find it on the first floor, but I mean it's not like limited to the first floor or anything. And this is why I brought this very berry with me, because this could potentially be 3 trips to the mine, which I would very much dislike. I think even if it is 3 trips to the mine, I don't think I'm going to reset, because I would kind of like to do like some no reset runs of this. That's silver, just to kind of get like back into the swing of Glitchless. Okay. Right, I basically have like 1, maybe 2 chances. No, okay. Because yeah, so the next time I hit something, I will pass out and you can't pick something up. Actually, you might be able to. You might be able to pick something up like just as you pass out. But picking something, like just holding something, doesn't count it as like being in your rucksack. So yeah. So like so then when I wake up the next day, I wouldn't actually still have it. Right. 3rd trip to the mine. Absolute garbage luck. I changed the route. I think I've made like slight changes. It's kind of hard to tell where I have made changes. I don't think there have been any massive changes. I think they're all just like minor ones. Like no notes have got changed or anything, but it's mostly just like where I do certain things or things to that effect. There we go. So don't worry, we're finally getting out of spring. About 10 minutes. Well, not necessarily 10 minutes late, because I still would have gone to the mine at this point anyway. But, you know. Quite a while after I would have liked to have gone out of spring. So yeah, so as I said, some of this time I'll save in summer, because I think in my PB, I would have gone to the mine in summer. But then obviously some of this time loss is genuine time loss from having really bad luck in the mine. Luckily though, after spring, or specifically after the swing festival, I'd say the rest of the run is pretty automatic. Like, it's not like there's still like a little bit of luck that can still screw you over, but I don't know. I guess really you're not truly safe from luck until after fall, because you can still get screwed over by the blue mist flower. But yeah. Okay, so here's the next part of Major Luck, which I don't think I missed from Glitchless. Or glitched rather. I definitely didn't miss this being in this note not being in glitched. But it's the beach festival. And genuinely, the first time I like played through this game using the glitchless route, since like for the first time, like since there was like it became glitched in glitchless, I actually failed the beach festival. I lost, so that was irritating. It was just like, yep. You can still be pretty good at the game, and the beach festival can just absolutely screw you over. Because there was like a while in the route where this minigame, or this note wasn't in the route, but it basically became one of those things where like it's like, yeah, if you fail it, it's obviously a time loss, and it's luck based, so it's, you know, risky. But if you do well in it, it's still worth doing. So, yeah. So the way this minigame works is there'll be you're placed on like a little thing in like the sea, and you have to swim to 4 different coloured buoys, and basically you have to be the first to touch all the 4 different buoys. But then one of the ways that it's like luck based is obviously is all the boys are in like a random place, so you can get like really good placement where they're all like pretty much in a line in front of you, and it's like ridiculously easy to get to them. Or you can have it where they're all in like four corners of the map, and it's like ridiculous. But they're not like, even if you win, you then actually have to wait for all of the other computers to finish. So it's not even like how fast you are, it's how fast the computers are as well. So in terms of layout, this isn't the best, but it's definitely not the worst. Okay, so it looks like, so I'm definitely gonna win. It's now just how long it's gonna take the computers to finish as well. Okay, so it's a race between, I think, yeah, that's Kurt and Jamie. Okay. So that was about 1 minute, which is like pretty decent. Like, you can definitely get it under a minute, but as I said, like, that's entirely dependent on the computers being competent and like how good the computers are at the mini game as well. I can't actually remember where I split for this. I never remember whether I split at the end of the festival or at the note. I want to say I split at the end of the festival just because that's where I usually, like, that's where I split for Egg Festival, and in Glitched that's where I split for Flower Festival. So I guess it makes sense to split for there, but... Hooray, a time save. Still 10 minutes behind, but... time save anyway. I'll take it. Okay, so yeah, so the majority of summer now is just going to be right, whoops, I'll do tomorrow. Yeah, so it's actually one thing I wanted to do, which I used to have a split for it because it used to actually be like a much bigger day, because this would be like in quite an old version of the route, this would be like where I first went to the library and where I did some other stuff, but then it basically just turned into a day where you just went out and bought milk and eggs. So I just kind of thought, I don't really need a split for that, but it's kind of like it's good just to remember to do it like after the beach festival. But yeah, so the majority of summer now is just going to be sleeping and the occasional festival. But there's also going to be a weather day somewhere in there. And on that weather day, I need to do the note for plucking 100 weeds. If I get time, do the note for ringing the bell 20 times. But I also need to find the pink herb and the pink cat flower, which are the herbs and flowers of summer. Okay. So I have enough for all of the eggs, and I think one of the tools that I need. So I also need to buy a brush and the bell, but I think I only have enough money to buy one of them because I have 1,800. So I can buy the 10 eggs because they only cost 120. So that'll only be 1,200, and then I'll have like 600 something left. which means I probably won't have that much money to buy like leftover or to buy like extra things. Okay, now I think I can buy one more. Yep. Okay. I was able to buy the bell, but not the brush. I thought the brush was 600, but it's 800. So the good thing about those notes is, luckily it's not now like I'm at 100G for the rest of the game. Like selling those milks, even though it does cut a loss, it hasn't put me like right out of pocket. I do make some of that money back. Hey Linka, how's it going? Yeah, some chill Harvest Moon. Hopefully for quite a while today. I'm planning on this being quite like a little bit of a longer stream. So I'm just gonna do some. Maybe like 1 or 2 runs of Glitchless, but then I'm probably going to switch over to Wonderful Life after. I just need to get the fish. Kind of tired, but it's your own fault. I know how that feels. Like I think I ended up staying up till like 3 o'clock last night. But then on the bright side, I didn't randomly wake up at 9 o'clock like I have been doing these past few days. So I'll chalk that up to a success. But yeah, so this was one of the festivals I mentioned earlier that like, if you haven't actually befriended Ellen, or not specifically Ellen, but if you haven't befriended anyone, presumably of like the opposite gender, then you can't actually do this festival. Like, nobody invites you. I always kind of forget that there isn't that much talking in this cutscene. It's just like she says like one thing, and then once you put the bottle in the water, there's no more talking. So I was ready to like mash for the whole cutscene, despite the fact it would make no difference. I'm gonna do it now just because I'm remembering. But I'm gonna buy the brush, and then I'm basically just gonna buy like as many eggs as I can with like the leftover money. Good thing it didn't let me buy the milker, because I definitely didn't want to buy it. I was supposed to... I keep forgetting to pet my dog. So usually, like, if you remember to do it every day, you should get the note fall 2 earliest. I'm assuming you can get it earlier if you actually, like, what's it called? If you actually, like, give it food or something. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to get it by fall 2 because I've forgotten it on multiple days now. I've also forgotten a fish. But I've started going to the bin, so I may as well continue. Nice tripping. So the kind of weather that I'm waiting for is either a cloudy or rainy. It doesn't actually matter which one it is. It's just like whichever one it is, just make like the difference it makes is like what I'll do that day. So for example, if it's raining, I can't, or all like the animals on Blue Sky Ranch will be outside, so I can't brush them. So if it's raining, I won't need to take... I keep forgetting fish. But if it's raining, I don't need to take the brush with me. So instead, I'll take the bell with me, and I'll just like spend the whole day picking up weeds. But to be fair, I think I'd end up spending the day picking up weeds anyway. It's just, if it was raining, or if it's a cloudy day, I'll brush the animals first. And then I'll probably spend the rest of the day picking up weeds. But if it was raining, I'll pick up the weeds first.
Oh. Huh.
Hey Go-Go, I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing? That's good to hear. Right, so there's only one more festival left to do in summer, and it's the fireworks festival. But I'm still waiting on that weather day. Either cloudy or rainy will be fine. Just one of them. I need one of them. Okay, raining. What happened in spring that cost so much time? So, spring was a mixture of actual, like, genuine bad luck and just doing things in different places. So in my PB, I would have visited the mine in summer, but just to kind of keep it consistent with how I do it in glitched runs, I did it at the end of the flower festival. So obviously it didn't help with the fact that the mine actually went really poorly and I had to do 3 trips, but did not mean to take that out. Did not mean to trip either. But yeah, but I would have lost time just because I decided to do the mine in spring instead of summer, which I would have done in my PB. So yeah, so a lot of this day is just going to be picking up weeds, and then I don't actually know what time like I should get this note finished. But after this note, I'm gonna then try and find an orange herb and a pink, pink herb in summer, orange herb in fall. I'm gonna try and find a pink herb and a pink cat flower. What are the differences between glitched versus glitchless? I'm just kind of assuming, like, not you don't mean like, oh, what glitches aren't allowed, because obviously, or like the rules between glitches and glitches, because obviously that speaks for itself. But what note differences? Actually, I'll answer Colin Flolin's question first, because that's a quicker one. Who will I marry? No one. You don't marry anyone in this speedrun. Obviously, you do marry someone in the marriage speedruns, and I believe the quickest is blue. But in any percent, you don't get married. But yeah, so back to the differences between glitched and glitchless. Yeah, so there are notes that I guess you can do, but would take like so much longer if you wanted to do them glitchless as opposed to glitch. So these are just things like, so for example, inventory storage for some reason gives you a bunch of money and allows you to get the very rich note, and you obviously don't get that one in glitchless because you'd have to get it like legitimately. And because you don't get a lot of money, or there's no point in getting a lot of money naturally, you don't get certain notes such as like the second house note or Animal Kingdom or a lot of notes that involve like buying things. Some notes are just like a little bit harder to do. So for example, like both the milk and eggs notes are easy. Like they're easy either way because they're just shipping 10 milk and 10 eggs, but they're like easier to do in Glitched because you don't actually have to like buy the items legitimately. What's my favourite festival? That's an interesting question. I'm not sure, because I'm not sure whether I prefer the ones that are just like small cutscenes, or whether I prefer the ones that have a little bit more weight to them. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what my favourite festival is. Though I think if we were to go like outside of Magical Melody and just like Harvest Moon festivals in general, I do like in Back to Nature, the chicken festival, like the chicken wrestling festivals. But yeah, so then some other differences in notes in Glitched and Glitchless is things like, so in Glitched, it's easy, like you don't have to get 10 silver or 10 milk like naturally, you can just duplicate them. So you end up befriending Bob and Blue as well as Ellen, whereas in Glitchless, you'd actually have to get like the 10 milk legitimately, either by milking a cow, which wouldn't be worth it, or buying 10 milk, which you already do for the milk note. And you'd actually have to find 10 silver, so you don't befriend Bob and Blue in Glitchless. Why? I don't know. I just think it's a silly festival, and I like it. I think part of why I like it is because I didn't actually know it was a thing until it probably would have been like the first time I actually ended up completing a Back to Nature 98% run. So the first time I ever encountered the chicken festival, or the chicken wrestling festival, was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning after I had been like 13 hours or so into a speed run. I was so tired and like ready for this to end, and this was like the last thing I had to do in order to get like one of the last recipes before I could finish the run. And I managed to do it on my first try, not knowing at all what the chicken festival was, not knowing at all how to like what note is this? Oh, okay. I didn't realise it was that close to rain. That's fine though. I'm just gonna pick up this flower, and then that's gonna be the end of the day. Okay, so there's only one more festival left to do in summer. There's, I mean, technically 2 festivals, but one of them is a... Oh, I can't remember whether it's the cow or the sheep festival. It's an animal festival, basically, so I don't have an animal, so I don't need to go to it. So I can't get the note from it, basically. Of course, it's giving me loads of rain now. But yes, there's one festival left to do, and then that'll be summer done with. it is a bit of a long festival though, because it's the fireworks festival. I can't remember. I don't. Yeah, no, I think like next after the beach minigame festival, this is the longest festival that's still in the run. I mean, well, you'll see why it's the longest festival in a bit. So usually the longer festivals are the romantic festivals like moon viewing or I can never remember whether it's called Starry Night or Starlight. It's one of the two. But you know, the ones where you go up to like the peak of the mountain and look at the moon, those are usually quite long just because like you have to watch that like opening cutscene where you go to the square and then you have to, there's like quite a bit of dialogue. This is a long festival because it just has a really long cutscene, and like that's just it. Like the cutscene of you, like it's pretty much exactly the same as the Firefly Flower Festival, except in that festival, the cutscene where you put the flowers into the sea and they all drift off, that's pretty short. The cutscene of the fireworks, it goes on for like a minute or so, probably longer. And also, if you ever need an excuse to play this game on console instead of emulator, this cutscene is the reason why, because it vibrates your controller, like it takes advantage of the rumble, which you can't really get on emulator, and it's brilliant. Especially towards the end when like more fireworks show up. That's a good question. I wish I knew why it was so unnecessarily long. It just is. But yeah, so basically this is summer over, like there's just like a few days of like every single day now in summer is just going to be going straight to sleep. And yeah, so a big gold. I'll still probably be a little bit behind, and that'll like I obviously won't be 10 minutes behind because it'll be roughly a 10-minute gold. But yeah, I don't even think I'll be a minute behind. Maybe I will. I'm not sure. I'm never good at like guessing how far ahead or behind I'll be. It's like the one speedrunner thing I haven't really picked up. But yeah. So as I said, a lot of this, like basically all of this time save here is because in my PB, this would be when I would have gone to the mine in like during this split in summer, but in this run I've done it in spring, and we'll probably like continue to do it in spring. Like just now. Like yeah, just like in any like future runs. No, I won't be a minute. Like barely even, like not even half a minute ahead, really. Yeah, so just under 10 minutes gold. So yeah, so some people coming into like the second half of this run, it can be really confused. It was like, whoa, you lost like 10 minutes on spring and then saved it in summer. It's crazy. And that's the thing, it's like not even to like actual time loss or time saved, it's just like route differences. Ooh, no. I'm gonna ignore that cloudy day, for this reason. So I could have gone out on that cloudy day to do, the weather day, and get the cloudy note. But I actually kind of want to leave it a little bit later into fall, because of the fact that, so one of the flowers, the flower that you have to find in fall, the blue mist flower, is rare. And it's like actually rare, it's not just, oh, it's difficult to find, but like the game even acknowledges that it's a rare flower, and it like costs more. I'm just gonna go out now just to like, one, get this cutscene out of the way, and two, to ship. Actually no, I'll ship the pink cat flower and the herb on when I go to the next festival. But yeah, so because it's actually rare, I kind of like to leave it a little bit later into fall to do the weather day to find it, so there's at least a higher chance of it of spawning, because there's literally like there'll be like one in the overworld, and that will be it. So I've once actually lost. Well, I can't actually remember how good the run was, so I don't know whether or not it was a lost run or not. But basically, not being able to find the blue mist flower until the last day of fall cost me 15 minutes. So I once lost 15 minutes in a run purely to not being able to find this one flower. So that's how silly it is. Actually, that would probably, like, because I can probably compare it against my worst splits. Hang on. Yeah, if I can compare against my worst segment, my worst segment for fall should definitely be the time that happened. Yeah, 16 minutes worse than my best. So that would have been that run where I lost like 16 minutes, just because I couldn't find the blue mist flower at all. I forgot to blooming ship the stuff again. I keep forgetting that, it's irritating. Oh no, I don't need to have like 9 eggs on me. I can just ship them on the cloudy day. How do you marry Ellen? You get her up to 8 hearts, and you have 30 notes. You need to have upgraded your house to level 3, and have bought the big bed. but I think you can only have bought the big bed. I think like definitely when you have someone on 8 hearts. You may only be able to buy the big bed once you've also have 30 notes, but then once you've met all those requirements, the mayor will come to your house, and he'll make you do the rock climbing mini game, and then once you've done that, you'll get the blue feather, and then you can propose. What gifts does she take? Probably the easiest is breadfruit, but not shop bought breadfruit, and breadfruit that's grown in fertile soil. So if you start off with the house by the river, if you grow breadfruit there, actually, I can do this now. Yeah, she likes that breadfruit, and you only have to give her 32 of it, and that's enough. So it's like every 4 loved items is a heart, and you have to get her to 8 hearts, so 32 pieces of breadfruit. I don't need to pick up my dog anymore. That's like the one thing I need to remember, like in Glitchless runs, is because in Glitched it's easy because you just don't need to pick up your dog at all. But I need to remember in Glitchless, once I've gotten that note, I don't need to I don't need to care for my dog anymore. It sounds mean. I guess it is mean, really, but okay, so now I kind of need to be like a little bit more. I need to like look for cloudy days. Oh, there we go. I'll take the extra eggs with me just because. Thursday, okay. Hopefully this won't be a problem, but because it's a Thursday, I'm not sure if their animals will be out. Also, I saw an orange herb there. Okay, also right. So, chat, answer me this, and like, give me like what you actually think of it. So there's a chance here that like, if I did this wrong whilst I'm brushing this cow and pushing it, it would be able to like glitch into the little tool shed that you see there. Now, that's not beneficial in any way. It's actually like a disadvantage, and it's like it will have cost me a little bit of time, but it is still technically a glitch. So if I do that even accidentally in a glitchless run, should it still count as a glitchless run? Okay, people saying yeah, good. Because that's what kind of I was thinking. Because it like, as I said, it doesn't give you an advantage. So like, because it makes the cow impossible to brush. So then you have to then brush the sheep, and the sheep is like a little bit more difficult to brush because it's like able to move away quicker. because it's smaller. So it's not like it gives you a massive disadvantage, but it obviously doesn't help. Oh wait, can you still brush it if it's... I didn't know that. That's very interesting. Does it still move whilst it's like stuck in the house, or... or does it like just stay there? But right, so now we're going on the hunt for the ever so elusive blue mist flower. Like, I always find it usually spawns somewhere like down this road. There we go. Okay. Maybe it's like not a disadvantage or an advantage then. I don't know. Actually, okay. No, okay. I'm gonna do the whistling note first. Because I definitely have time to do that note, but then after that, I'm basically just gonna run around and try and eat as many. I'm gonna try and find and eat as many forageable items as possible. Just to give me like even more of a push towards Big Eater. Because so from this point onward, the only notes that I have to do during weather days is whistling, which I'm doing now, cultivation, which I'm doing in winter, and the standing still note, which I'm also going to do in winter. So actually, that's also another good mini debate. So Desert Penguin, do you think the fact that like, so when you till soil in winter, it doesn't like auto rotate you? Do you think that's like that's a glitch and that would like shouldn't be in a glitchless run, or do you think that's just like an intended game mechanic that you just take advantage of and is still fair game in glitchless? Because I haven't actually thought about that until just now. But I think it's definitely something that I feel you could argue either way with. Okay, that's quite interesting. But yeah, I feel like maybe then it shouldn't count as a glitch, and you should still be able to do it in glitchless runs. I think it is just kind of like taking advantage of a game mechanic. Yeah, yeah. See, that type of thing makes sense as well. Okay, so that's Cloud. So actually, something I don't do since I haven't done since like the last time I've like ran glitches. So I don't actually count the like how far I am in Big Eater anymore. Like I used to have like a little counter underneath for food and for notes, but I just don't have that anymore. But I think I'm doing pretty well for Big Eater. Yeah, yeah, I guess that, like, things like that, like power crouch stabbing, exactly. I just realised that I picked up my dog the past few days again. Not supposed to be doing that. Okay, so there are only 2 more festivals left in fall: the Harvest Festival and the Pumpkin Festival. And these are both like really short festivals, so I'm still gonna eat like random. If like I see a random item on the way somewhere, I will eat it. Okay, and this should be the last fish. So giving the dolphin this fish, nice tripping, should allow me to ride it to the island and get that note. Yep, good. But also on the topic of on the glitches, this is definitely isn't like anything like worth discussing as to whether or not it's allowed, but it's just an interesting thing. I didn't know until a few days ago. Is you can actually like leave the island before you get the note, and you just get the note. I don't know why I actually rode the dolphin back. I should have just slept there. But yeah, you can ride the dolphin back to the mainland before you get the note, and you get the note when you get back. It's just interesting. I never knew you could do that, but you can. I was about to pick up my dog again. Stopped myself though. No picking up dogs. Hey Sparv, how's it going? That is an interesting emote. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. I'm not sure it's supposed to be like emoting, I guess. It's a character from Baldi's Basic. Okay, I've heard of that. I haven't seen it. I've heard of it though. I'm aware of it. Yeah, like I know it's like a meme game that's like recently become popular on YouTube, but I haven't seen like any gameplay of it or whatever. Yeah, like things like Lone Wolf. But that's the difference is with Lone Wolf and those ones, it's like if you leave the house before you get it, you have to then do it again. So yeah, so ones like Lone Wolf or like Paw aren't necessarily that difficult to get it again, but it's things like Limitation or Night Owl, where it's like if you accidentally do that, then it's like a real punch in the gut. But then gardening, for some reason, the gardening note, if you walk outside before it gives you that note, it gives you it whilst you're walking outside. No, I'm picking up dogs again. Oh, how do you do that one then? Because you get that note when like you actually ship the item. So like, do you like spam sleep or something? Spam like the pause menu to try and sleep before you get the note, or how does that one work? Oh, if you ship them right at 6 AM. Like I'm assuming that's like 6 AM is in like the Night Owl transition. Yeah, I think I've seen like a couple of his, like I think I've watched a couple of his streams. I haven't seen him on like fail or cringe compilations or anything. I don't really watch those, but no, I think I've watched him stream like Banjo-Kazooie a couple times. Like he's one of those, like I don't follow him, but it's like nothing else on. Nothing else is on, so it's just like a stream to put on in the background. So is that the only shipping note it does that for? Or does it do that for like does it do that for like all the other ones as well? Okay, probably so. Yeah, I'm gonna be losing a bit of time here. If I'd had to say why, it's probably because of either visiting the dolphin more frequently in fall than in other splits. That's probably it. Like, I can't think of other reasons why I'd lose time, but maybe like just picking up other items, like so when I picked up that orange herb, there's things like that. But what's my time saving? Okay. Oh man, I have no time save in any of the other splits. Well, I have like a brief time save in 50 notes. Ooh, that's 50 notes is going to be a weird split because it's going to be very different to how I do it in Glitched. Okay, I'm a minute behind again. See, that's bizarre. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be losing a minute in fall. To me, that says, like, time... That's, like, actual time loss. That's, like, mistake. But I can't think of what I would have done. Right, so that wasn't just a regular snowy day then, that was a storm, so I can't go out on storms. No, because I didn't do the library in this fall. I was going to do it in I was going to do it in winter. Where am I going? That's right, I don't actually need to go back to my house to do this note, but it really doesn't make a difference. Oh, whoops. Nice. I don't know, maybe like going to the dolphin. Why do I keep so many eggs at the whole run? So eggs are one of the easier ways to contribute towards the big eater note. So the big eater note is a note you get for eating 50 items. I'm actually gonna move up slightly because I have like this weird visual cue, so I know when to I'm getting really confused because this isn't like. I kind of have like a visual cue, so I know when to eat, so I don't see the tired animation. But yeah, so eggs. This feels different to normal, but whatever. Yeah, so the big eater note is a note you get for eating 50 items. So a lot of that is just like during the weather days, trying to find items just in the overworld, so things like honey and herbs and like whatever the regular edible item of that season is. So spring has very berries, summer has blueberries and I can't remember what there are, but there's like it's like something that you eat and then your character says that's spicy, that's some sort of berry. Fall doesn't have anything besides like the regular orange herbs, and honey grows in like all the seasons except winter. But it's like it's pretty much impossible to get like big eater purely from them, or at least during the weather days at least. So what I do on top of that is I buy a bunch of eggs, because you have like, well, I mean you actually grow and sell the breadfruit in order to like get the eggs. But eggs are like probably the cheapest food item to buy. They only cost 120 G. So yeah. So they're just like an easy way to add up, like, to contribute towards big eater. Yeah, I think you can. I think I've had that in the past, or where it's like I'm assuming you mean at the same time, because as Gogo said, like I have actually like I've had multiple coins spawn on the same spot. But yeah, like I'm sure I've had it where well, I'm pretty sure I've had it where I've had 2 coins on the same spot at the same time. Like, you kind of can't distinguish it until you pick the coins up, and even then, it's like, what happens is, so when you pick the coin up and it shows you how much you picked up, what happens is you pick up both of the coins, and they just appear on top of each other. So it will be like, one of them will say like 34, and one of them will say 9, so it'll be 3, and then you, like a 4 and a 9 on top of each other. So I'm pretty sure it's happened before. Doesn't do much, but you know, it's just it's a thing that can happen. Yeah, the winter music is good for this game. I feel like winter music is usually hit or miss. Like I'm not a big fan of the winter music in something like Back to Nature, where it's like sad and slow. But I like this one. I do like the Magical Melody winter theme, and just Magical Melody music in general. Right, so this is the most difficult note in the game, because it's frame perfect. I have to do frame perfect inputs for about a minute. Luckily though, the frame perfect inputs are don't input anything. Just don't touch the controller. Like, I've messed this up quite a few times somehow in the past. So now whenever I get to doing this note, I just put the controller down and leave it. I don't like risking it. The credits theme for this game is great. That just reminds me, like, for quite a while, Magical, like, the music on Magical Melody is like, not that much of it was uploaded to YouTube, but then somewhat recently, someone has been uploading, like, the music from the game, and they uploaded the credits theme, which hadn't been uploaded before. So I was pretty excited about that, because I got to add that to my my Harvest Moon music playlist. But yeah, the credits theme for this is good. I do like Magical Melody credits theme. It's a shame you only hear it during the credits. Damn, I used up more eggs tilling soil than I expected. Yes, I do. Actually, I'll share a link to it, because I think I have it on unlisted. I don't think I have it as like a public playlist on my YouTube, but it's like one of those things where it's like if you have the link, you can view it. And there's like there can definitely be like more, but it's like whenever I remember, oh, I should add this like song to the list. Okay, so after I do the library, I'll post it in chat. So yeah, so there's like a few kind of things absent from it. So like, I think what it kind of is it'll have been like I'll have been listening to like a specific game. So there's quite a bit of DS in there. So what it would have been as like I would have been listening to like a playlist of the DS soundtrack, and then I've been like, oh, this song's good. I'll add this to my Harvest Moon music playlist. I actually need to check what festival this is. Chicken Festival, okay. Because I always forget which one that festival is sometimes. Okay, yeah, there's only 3 festivals in winter. So there's only 3 things. Yeah, there is actually only 3 things left to do in winter. There's the Flame Festival, the Starlight Festival, and I think it's just called New Year's Sunrise Festival. But yeah, I do like that the Harvest Moon music playlist, because I kind of briefly used it as like a when I was taking, like, if I was taking a short break during stream, I would just like play that music so people didn't have to just sit there and like watch like the title screen or something of a game. So it kind of depends on what game I'm playing though, because it's like so like if I'm playing so if I were to take a break after this run, which I probably will, to have some food, okay, thanks. Then like, you know, with this game, I can just like leave the credits on. Like I can go off whilst the like ending melody is played, and then I can like leave the credits on. But if like I'm taking a break whilst I'm playing like Wonderful Life or something, there's not really much I can, you know, but I'm able to just put on that playlist. I'm gonna put that that old steak that I took out at the beginning of the one is still there. Yeah, I listen to music a lot when I practice. I mean, I listen to music just a lot in general, but like it's probably one of the reasons why I do actually like I kind of like practicing speedruns, because it gives me a chance to play the game whilst listening to music and whilst not listening to other game. And usually, like, I don't think I play any games that have like audio cues or something, so playing with like no game volume doesn't really make a difference to me. Fake banjo game. I mean, hey, it's not Nuts and Bolts or Banjo Pilot. Okay, so only 2 festivals left. I think Starlight is then the... So this is the longest festival after the Fireworks Festival, and this is just because of like dialogue. I haven't actually played the only banjo game I've played is the original. I do own Tui, but I've just like never got around to playing it, honestly. I probably should though, because people say it's a good game, but like I do like the original Banjo-Kazooie as well. It's weird because people say like Banjo-Kazooie hasn't aged well. I don't know. I'm not sure whether or not I can agree with that because I think I don't know. I can't like. It's been a while since I've played the original Banjo-Kazooie, but I think it still plays like decently well. Like especially still compared to like other what's it called? Other like N64 collectathons. Like now, which one's BD? Because I know so Banjo-Tooie, Grunty's Revenge, Nuts and Bolts, Banjo-Kazooie, and then Banjo Pilot. Which one's Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo 3, Banjo the third game? Is that what it stands for? Am I close? Banjo DK64. It's Diddy Kong Racing 2. I mean, I would love if there was a Diddy Kong Racing 2, because Diddy Kong Racing is a great game. Banjo Dream. Oh, is that like... So it's a ROM hack. I'm assuming that's like something to do with when it was still like Project Dream and stuff like that. Yeah, Diddy Kong Racing's a great game. Difficult. Like, Diddy Kong Racing was like the first game I ever owned, and I'm surprised, like, after playing it, I actually wanted to play more video games, because replaying it a few years ago, it just like ramps up in difficulty in like the last 2 worlds. I'll definitely have to check that out then. I'll check out Banjo Dreamy. But yeah, you should definitely play Diddy Kong Racing Melon Slice, because it's like Kart Racer meets Collectathon. So it's like if they made a cross between like Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64. Like, those probably aren't the best games to compare, but like Yeah, I haven't played Banjo-Kazooie, so I can't compare it to that. But yeah. Or if you've played Crash Team Racing, it's like the N64 version of that. Never played a Crash game, down. To be fair, the only Crash game I played is, or up until recently, is, I think it was Warped. It was the 4th one. The one where it was like, on GameCube and stuff. And then, sometime earlier this year, I think it was, I bought my friend's PlayStation 4, which came included with, the Insane trilogy. So I've also played like a bit of the first one. The CTR is good as well. Like I played Crash Team Racing because it's like a PS1 version of Diddy Kong Racing. Damn, Sega Dreamcast. So you probably enjoyed those the Sonic Adventure games. Those were good though. I was replaying Sonic Adventure earlier this year as well. I had fun. I had fun replaying Sonic Adventure. I don't think it's as bad as people. I feel like they definitely could have played or done a lot more with Sonic instead of splitting it between all the characters. But it's irritated me because I haven't ever actually beaten Sonic Adventure 1. I've beaten Sonic Adventure 2. But I've never beaten Sonic Adventure 1 as in all of the character stories. I'm pretty sure that's a split. Yeah. Right. I've kind of messed this up because what I should have done is picked up a bunch of eggs before now. But I kind of wasn't paying attention. Oh, I only have 4 eggs, okay. But yeah, so I was recently playing Sonic Adventure and I've never beat it, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna replay it and I'm gonna beat it. And for context, I own I was 1 food item away from Big Eater. Okay, this is good though. I'm actually gonna check how many notes I have. 47. Okay, so that's Night Owl, Diary, Spring Footsteps. Easy. Yeah, don't leave the house in the morning. Okay, but yeah, so for context on Sonic Adventure, I have the original PC version, not the Steam version, the original PC disc version. And basically, that version does not like any controllers. It does not like my GameCube controller adapter. It does not like my PS4 controller. It doesn't like my weird... I feel like it's a knockoff Sega controller because it has no... It's just it has a D-pad and 4 buttons, but then 2 triggers. Okay, I need to count now, so... But yeah, so I managed to get through Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles' story. And Knuckles' story was a lot easier than I remember it being. I thought it was going to be really difficult. But then it was actually quite easy. I was like, huh, okay. But I basically had to give up during Amy's story. which kind of irritated me because that was always the story I never did. Like I never ended up, like I don't think I ever beat like growing up. I don't think I ever beat Amy's story or Big's story, just because I could never like when I get round to them I'd just like be bored of playing the game or something. And it was like, like it was at that point where it was like I just couldn't finish the game because it was like I think it's her second mission in Hot Shelter where Zero's chasing you and there's that section with it's the section where you have to like pick up all the objects and put them in like their specific, so there's like the weird little yellow cube and like the blue cube and there's all like the coloured boxes or whatever, and you have to like put them in like a little certain slot, and the game would just like not have any of that. It just didn't want to do that at all. But yes, this is basically the end of the run, and somehow I'm ahead. Like, actually, like, genuinely, even if I lose time on this split, I will actually still most likely PB. I don't think I can lose 52 seconds in this final split. Which I definitely wasn't expecting, like... Although, hey, Dogbutt22, I didn't notice you because I feel like someone else in the chat has that, like, same blue name, so I just thought it was them. I think it's Go-Go, but yeah. Have I ever thought about doing a 100-note run? Kind of. So I do have notes on it, and I have, like, slight thing, but then like glitches were found, and I haven't revisited my notes since inventory storage was found. Like I think I will at some point do a 100-note run, but I don't know when, honestly. And thank you all for the GGs. I'm honestly surprised. Like, look at this run. This does not look like the run that should PB. It's like, that's not a good intro. They're like 6 minutes 5. But then still ahead at Spring 2 somehow, not by much. Then behind at Egg Festival. And I mean, I've said this because like, so like, obviously, pretty much all of that time loss in Spring, I then made up for in Summer. And that was like, I knew that was going to happen. But even then, it felt like there was still some bad luck. So yeah, so then, I'm still not 100% sure how I lost time in 4. I think that must be down to like, just something down to like the dolphin then. But even then, that shouldn't have cost me like a minute. But then, but then I saved the time in winter, so cool. Yeah, I'm not sure. Originally, I was gonna do like 2 runs, but because this is PB'd, I think maybe this would be a good time to like switch from this game. So probably after at the end of this run, I'm gonna take a short break to have some food, and then I'll switch over to Wonderful Life. But okay, I'll let chat decide this. So, because earlier I was talking about how I have a Harvest Moon music playlist. Um, so would people? So whilst I'm like having my short break, having food, would people rather watch the melody and um, and then watch the credits, or would people rather like just have that on in the background whilst I put on the Harvest Moon music playlist? So that will just be like different songs from like different games of the series. Thanks, Paulie No Hands. Okay, so this little cutscene means I've reached just past the halfway point. So there are 50 notes, or you need to get 50 notes for any percent, and you get this little cutscene at 30. Yeah, and you get that little power berry that does nothing because the run is over. So that power berry is completely useless. Okay, well thanks for watching, Desert Penguin. Have a good day. And thanks. And thank you for the bits. Okay, so this obviously won't be a sub 240 run, but I think this should be sub 241. Like, I don't know how much time I could save or lose on this split, because, like, well, I mean, because it's been, like, so long since I've ran Glitchless, I don't know where I would have split for 50 notes in my PB, so I don't know exactly where my best in this run is from. So what I mean by that is, like, if I split, if the 50th note I got was Big Eater and I got it right outside the Goddess pond, then obviously I'm going to lose a little bit of time, because this split now also includes like all the time it took to run from the town square to the to here. which I think might be the case. So it might not be sub 241, because this is the last little cutscene. No, I think I'm just gonna just about miss out on it. Okay, there we go. So 241.19. So not much of a PV, but it's the fact that this is the first time I've actually done a run against these splits, and I PB'd. And it's also the first glitchless run I've done in about a year. So it can definitely be beaten, but you know, that'll be for another day and another stream. Okay, so